In September of 2014, my wife had a gastric bypass surgery. And the surgery took about 3 hours. And what they discovered during that surgery is that my wife had an extreme fatty liver because of her years of alcohol abuse. Now, what they discovered and they decided to do, they ended up closing her up and they didn't actually do the surgery. And they elected later on, and 6 months later, they did what was called a gastric sleeve bypass, which was considered a less intrusive operation. Unfortunately, what happened is that it tends to accelerate the alcohol use disorder in her. There's an increased absorption rate by like 4%, 4 times the normal rate, and your body metabolizes differently. I can look back and really see that as a watershed time in her life where she was already well on her way as a stage 3 alcoholic, and then after that she just went off the deep end. And I mean, unfortunately, she passed away 4.5 years later. And there's pros and cons, and I want to talk about this. And if this is the first time seeing me, again, I was married for 25 years, and my wife succumbed to alcohol use disorder almost 5 years ago. So this video is really about the pros and cons of bariatric surgery. Now, in my wife's case, she had gotten very heavy, and the reason being because she had a thyroid disease. She had that since she was, I think, a teenager, and unfortunately, she not only had an underactive thyroid, she had zero thyroid, and she took levothyroxine all her adult life, and she was taking that before I knew her, just so that she would have some kind of metabolism to burn, her body from its fat content. And unfortunately, it was a losing battle, and I think also her degree of alcoholism increased her weight, and it got to the point where she was morbidly obese for a period of about 5 or 6 years, and she really needed to do something about it. So you have to weigh the difference. And when she did get the gastric sleeve bypass, I mean, the positive was that she lost about 150 to 160 pounds the first year. I mean, she lost about half her body weight, and she looked really so much better. The problem was that it exacerbated the alcohol intake. So she was drinking a bottle of 1.75 liter of wine a night, and the absorption rate went from that. It's basically like drinking 4 liters instead of the regular 1.5 liters. It's like drinking 4 to 6 liters is in the way that it affected her. And unfortunately, it also threw out her entire endocrine system and her thyroid. It created multiple problems, and I think that was really the beginning of the end for her, unfortunately. And again, I talk about this because really you have to have a warning for anybody who's thinking about a bariatric surgery, because if you have any kind of alcohol issue, alcohol use disorder, you don't even want to consider it, in my opinion. Yes, you will lose weight, but it'll also cost you your life. There's a high probability. And if you are thinking about any kind of bariatric surgery and you do have an alcohol use disorder problem, you need to get it in recovery for at least 2 to 5 years and make sure you've eradicated it from your life before you make an attempt on the surgery. Yes, if you're morbidly obese, I know that's a problem, but try losing it on your own before you take it to the knife, before they remove your stomach or alter the shape of your stomach or the size of your stomach. It can cause incredible problems later on in your life. And the last thing I really want to say in my wife's case, because this is important, because of the levothyroxine, whenever she was binge drinking and then she went through a detox situation, the detox really was a result of, number one, the levothyroxine, because she would forget to take it for 3 or 4 days. And after building up this levothyroxine supply in her system and then not taking it because she was indulging in alcohol, she would have a double whammy detox. She would be detoxing on levothyroxine and then detoxing on the alcohol. I mean, her hormonal system was unbelievable. Her whole face would turn bright red. It was very sad. And I mean, the dry heaves and the dehydration were very serious. I mean, we always had to take her to the emergency. I had to call 911 many times. And this is one of the reasons why she went to so many rehabs, because just the physicality of it and the fear of what she had gone through, she was willing to go to a detox, professional detox, even though if that meant 30 days in a rehabilitation facility, at least she knew she was going to get the medications and it wouldn't be so difficult. tough place to be in. It's a tough road to go on. And I talk about this genuinely to help other people if they find themselves in this situation and they have to make these kind of decisions between losing weight or getting rid of the alcohol problem. First, you got to get rid of the alcohol problem and then lose the weight. If bariatric surgery is the way, make sure you got the alcohol problem out of the way. And again, the memoir is called Amanda, A Cautionary Tale of Alcoholism. I have these stories and so much more in the memoir. Again, it's on Amazon. It's also on my Linktree. You can go right to the website in the Linktree. Purchase it right there on the PayPal button. Amazon ebook. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Apple. That's in the United States. You probably need to get the ebook. I'm working on a international publisher that hopefully by March we'll have that figured out. Again, I go live Monday through Friday, right around 6 o'clock Pacific time, 9 o'clock Eastern. We also have the Facebook group. Again, link is in my bio for the Facebook group. And when you're ready to work with me one-on-one, I have a complete coaching program. It's designed for the family and the alcoholic. Set up a Zoom call, takes about 45 minutes. We do a deep dive into what's going on with you and your family. The call is free, and then the whole point of the call is to go over the course and make sure you're a good fit. Call's free, course is definitely not, but I'm here and looking for people who want to change their lives and the lives of their family. And again, thanks so much for listening.